Last week, Packers cornerback Jair Alexander missed the game. He was suspended for his actions from the previous week.
What'd I do?
Where he joined the captains at midfield for the pre-game coin flip. Alexander is not a captain, but he said screw it.
I'm the captain now.
And maybe that would have been okay, if he knew that Coach LaFleur wanted to defer it. Or what defer means.
They like, you mean defer? I'm like, yeah, I guess.
Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus. That's Kevin. Last week, the Lions were screwed in primetime. The Eagles remained a factory of sadness. And I guess we're not calling for Mike Tomlin to be fired now? You get a couple of wins in you and suddenly pitchfork season is over.
Nick Chubb started things off. The Browns have a rich tradition of breaking things, like their starters. Fans were banging the metal sheeting in the stadium. It sounded like Iron Man was making sweet love to a dumpster. One of the many deleted scenes from the Avengers end credits. Damn it, Cleveland! I can't hear Al Michaels reference Millard Fillmore and reminisce in fine detail about the experience of buying penny candy down at the Woolworth. One of those things actually happened. Joe Flacco is so unbelievably competent. It's as if Geppetto brought a fanny pack to life, and now he's out there dealing footballs to old tire swings. It also helps when your defense is a sandworm, and Trevor Siemian's jockstrap is Dune. But with new opportunities also come the dumbest interception of the week. Regret! Prime showed off their defensive alerts. An AI-driven feature to further alienate your girlfriend when she watches football with you. Harness the power of AWS to track as you lose sex in real time. Late in the fourth, I must have been tripping balls because Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit adopted a cheetah. And then the Browns, in a season more cursed than a pharaoh's tomb on the cover of Madden, secured a spot in the playoffs. Michael Clemens shared his displeasure with the people of Cleveland, and he did it one at a time. This is gonna take a while. This game was a wild fight full of sneaky surprises. At halftime, Jimmy Johnson was inducted into the Cowboys Ring of Honor. You know it's a big deal when Jay Glazer and Guy in Shark Hat are there. Bow to your sensei. It was a glorious moment for the Cowboys cut short when they ripped Johnson's arms off. This game came down to the wire, and the Lions weren't playing for overtime. They went for the win, and they got it. Except they didn't. They said the Lions didn't declare properly. So I guess this conversation was trading souffle recipes. You're telling me he didn't see this guy he was pointing at, or hear him? Somewhere there was a Mrs. Football Cop TiVoing the shit out of this for couples therapy. Evidence, he never listens. Dan Campbell was furious, but Helen Keller wasn't hearing it. This guy can't see, can't hear, and worse yet, he's not there for them emotionally. Someone let Matt Burke out before he pees on the carpet again.
The thing that you hear about him all the time is twitchy.
I believe that's called ADHD. Will Levis was blown apart like a tissue in a teenage boy's bedroom, and Ryan Tannehill had to come off the bench. Damn it, Titans! Look at what you're doing to Mike Vrabel's mental health. This man hasn't whistled or seen a hammock since July. They called the AFC South a horse race, further vexing me that there's no horse component to this game. I've been saying it for years. Replace kickers with horses. The Titans ended this game face down, like a corpse. Under the cover of snow, bears were running everywhere. DJ Moore slid into the net like a nearsighted butterfly. Prior to the game, Justin Fields lubed and depubed to make for slippery escapes. It worked! He left a trail of defenders and short curlies on the way to a first down. Did Khalil Herbert and Roschon Johnson score too? Does a bear shit in the woods? Yes, but he uses Soldier Field as his toilet paper. Taylor Heineke was picked off 3 times. The defense was doing flips like karate and shooting Spider-Man goo all over the place. Late in the game, Desmond Ridder came in just to throw an interception. Toasty! Wait, was that for me?
Aw, you guys.
Tua! That's the number of interceptions Tagovailoa threw. The Dolphins were down Raheem Mostert, but it might not have mattered. The Ravens defense drowned them in a tepid pool of their own filth. Lamar Jackson backed up a truck and dumped 5 touchdowns on them. Isaiah Likely was the recipient of 2 of them. Patrick Ricard even caught one. And you know what I say. When the fullback is scoring, the game is over. Strike that. When Melvin Gordon emerges from the practice squad shadows like a goddamn Nosferatu and scores, the game is over. And then they scored again anyway. Derek Carr got him on the board early with a touchdown to Juwan Johnson and Taysom Hill.
Feeling good in my new jeans.
It was a tough day for the Bucks. They didn't score in the first 3 quarters. They turned the ball over 4 times, and it's like coaches say, don't do that.
Alright guys, Hopaloni Pfeffer News Dog Cop on 1.
Jalen Reagor returned the kickoff for a touchdown. Again, strengthening my case for horses instead of kickers. They can't tackle for shit, but Reagor definitely would have been stopped short of the goal after he was trampled to death by a vicious Clydesdale. Bailey Zappi threw 3 interceptions, each one more impressive than the last. Rasul Douglas took one all the way back. Josh Allen didn't throw any touchdowns, but he had 2 on the ground and what I believe should be called the Buffalo Shoulder. What was the point of this game? What was it even about? Was it an allegory? I learned nothing. So I guess the defensive coordinator wasn't the problem. This Eagles defense couldn't stop a gentle breeze. James Conner and others put up over 220 yards on the ground. The play clock shrank. What the? Enhance! Enhance! Amazon has next-gen stats, while Fox is still struggling with timekeeping technology. Hold on, let me get my microscope. Oh, it's in my other laboratory. Julio Jones had 2 scores. Nobody cares. The Eagles just got dog-walked by a 3-win Cardinals team, and Jonathan Gannon probably slept like a baby that night. A big, ugly baby. Trevor Lawrence missed the game. He was on the sideline giving free mammograms. If you're a fan of legs, buddy, this game was for you. 9 punts, 4 field goals. I've seen less kicking in a Jet Li film. Bryce Young was sacked 6 times. He saw more abuse than an altar boy. Panthers owner David Tepper threw a drink at some Jaguars fans, and everybody freaked out because they didn't catch it in their mouths. That's on them. If a billionaire is tossing free drinks, you say thank you and unhinge that jaw, or soak it up like a sponge. Gardner Minshew threw one deep for Alec Pierce, who took it the distance, but no one was more excited than this guy. I lament that we don't have more footage. Where does this guy's day go from here? Devontae Adams had 2 touchdowns. He caught one of them with his ear, which is not how they teach you.
I can hear the ocean.
There was a lot of gay field goals in this one, but the last one made the difference. The Giants' Dane Belton made 2 picks and recovered a fumble. Kyron Williams had 3 touchdowns, and after one, he tried to give it to his mom, but Mama Bird had to bite a bitch to get it. Tyrod Taylor was dropping bombs in the 3rd, but royally screwed the pooch when he couldn't hit short in the 4th. Absolutely nobody could make a point after in this, so it better not come down to an fuck. They should have brought out that stupid fan. Let him try and kick one with his face. I promise you, everything you need to know about this game is best summed up in this one image. The Steelers ran the shit out of the ball. Jalen Warren went through him, and Najee Harris ran him over. Deontay Johnson fumbled the ball to the defense, and he stepped out of bounds, making it a dead ball. Najee Harris trucked an official and dragged his pretty little ass to hell. Play was stopped, but nobody knew why. There was a series of conversations that nobody was privy to. At least give us a clue. Is it a die-hard situation? Stop fucking around! Is this a die-hard situation?
Water's moist.
After the win, Mike Tomlin said, I thought we got appropriate efforts from all parties involved. Thanks, Robo-Dad. Is that how you lead men into battle? With the charisma of a spreadsheet? Jake Browning and the Bengals came out hotter than fresh dog shit. Mixon scored early. Then Browning ran one in, a surprise for the Chiefs defense, because he's brittle and white, like a saltine. But they never scored after the half. What happened in that locker room? My guess, the usual fatigue after a breakdance contest. One guy casually mentions Tap Rock, and the next thing you know, they're all down on the floor spinning on their heads. The Chiefs wore him down with a heavy petting of Harris and Bucker field goals. The defense made a stop, and Taylor lit up a child.
Ha! Told you, you little shit! You owe me $100.
Mahomes came off the bench like Batman.
Forget the Batmobile, Alfred. Carry me piggyback. I want to feel the breath of the fall in between my toes.
Russell Wilson was benched earlier in the week. He said, God's got me. I assume he meant God's backing him up, and not God got me again, that hilarious prankster. They revisited the Russell Wilson trade, now lamented as a bad deal. They really loved those goats. It was Jarrett Stidham's turn to throw into wide open spaces, and then look at his receivers with hilarious subtleties. They said it could be a big day for Jerry Jeudy, but unless he had errands to run after or a surprise quinceañera, it didn't come true. lil'Jordan Humphrey was the star of the day. He caught a pass at midfield and chucked his butt in for 6. The Chargers faked a punt, and it fooled exactly no one. He had a half dozen Broncos in his underpants before he sniffed the line of scrimmage.
What you talking about, Willis?
If I ever fake my own death, I would never call the Chargers. I can't risk them at my fake funeral, winking at everybody and using air quotes, asking the insurance adjuster if they can ride share to the rendezvous point. Kirk Cousins showed the Minnesota crowd what 200 pounds of lean beef looks like, from nip to tip, waxed and unvaxxed, homie. The Vikings defense could not stop the Packers. Jordan Love took what he wanted and left his manners at the door. I don't mean to cast aspersions upon the man, but Kevin O'Connell smelt it, and he 100% shit his pants. And maybe the guy next to him too. Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico looked like waiters who snuck away for a smoke break 30 years ago. Breaks over, assholes. These mini quiches aren't going to serve themselves. Jaron Hall turned the ball over twice, and after the half, he was yanked for Nick Mullins. Mullins found Johnny Munt for a touchdown. That's right. Pad those stats, boys. After the game, Aaron Jones was smacked in the face. How dare you touch Senor Sombrero? Hands in your pockets, you filthy Viking. Let's all be friends and celebrate the new year. To whatever comes, we'll face it together.
And now it's time for the soft pretzel of the week.
Yummy.
This week, the pretzel goes to the UFL, the United Football League, which is a merger of the 2 spring football leagues, the XFL and the USFL. I liked both leagues on their own, but there was no way they were both gonna last. They were cannibalizing each other. Hopefully, this new league finally has some staying power. The season kicks off on March 30th with 8 teams, 4 from each league. My DC Defenders made the cut, so the Beer Snake lives on. But unfortunately, my Philly Stars are no more, which means Blob is back to the unemployment line. Thank you for watching Shut Up Football. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the like, all that other YouTube crap. Say hi to your mom for me, and we'll catch you next week. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
I'm a lumberjack, baby, but I got no wood.